Hi everyone, it's Becca again. So today I'm going to be doing the perfect palette tag. And no one tagged me, unfortunately. And no one asked me to do this, but I've just seen the tag go around. I know it's an older tag, but I always thought it was really cool. And maybe you guys can learn a thing or two about, my palette collection or just some good palettes. So anyway, here we go. And I will leave the questions down below. So the first question is best packaging. So, I mean, that's not really a question, but the first question or category is what is the best, what palette has the best packaging? So for me, here, let me just reach around and grab it. For me, that would either, and some of these I have ties, I'm sorry, I couldn't really decide, but for me, that would either be the Naked, Urban Decay Naked 1, the first Naked palette. It's just, I don't know, I just love kind of the velvety leather and it just feels nice. It's just really sleek and, looks naked, kind of like, the colors inside are. It has a nice magnet. I don't know, I just really enjoy this packaging and it's something more unique, at least in my experience. Or I would say that that would be tied with the Kat Von D Monarch palette. I mean, Kat Von D is amazing. She's a tattoo artist, so she's, obviously creative, and I think she makes all of her own designs. And personally, also, I just love butterflies, so had to give this one a shout out. So I just love, like, the butterflies have skulls right there, and just I love, like, the colors, and the colors on the front of the palette kind of match, like, that burnt, ooh, the colors on the front and right here kind of just match, like kind of the burnt colors you get in here. So yeah, I just really love this packaging. Even the back is beautiful. You can just really tell that she put a lot of effort into this palette. Okay, the next question is what palette has the best color payoff? And again, I have a tie. For me, I'd either say, again, I'm sorry, but it's my all-time favorite palette, the Naked 1 by Urban Decay. Just really good pigmentation, a lot of really nice shades. There are just a couple. Hope you guys can see that. Sorry, I have some old swatches on my hand, but there are those colors. I think the lighting's washing them out a little bit. Or it'd have to be tied with the Lorac Pro 1 palette. And this is pretty good packaging too. I mean, it's a really thin palette, which is nice. So let's just do some swatches. And those are further down on my hand. So yeah, those would be my two picks for that category. Okay, the next question is what palette is the most versatile? So for me, I think that would be the Lorac Mega Pro, and unfortunately this was an edition. The release of this was absolutely horrific. It was only released for a really short time on Lorac's website and then Amazon, and I waited forever and ever to get it on Amazon. You could sometimes get Amazon's website to like glitch and it would pop up for you, but it was atrocious how they released this palette. But anyway, sorry that it was limited edition, but if any of you have this, maybe it'll make you guys pull it out again. But it's just a great palette. It's just as thin as the other Lorac palettes. And Lorac shadows are a little powdery, but I still think they're really great quality. And here's what it looks like. And so I just really think it's versatile because you get the two levels of matte shades and then the two shimmer. So you get 32 colors in this palette, and I just love how it has great range of, the shimmers and the mattes, and then the light and the dark, and you get a few pops of color right there towards the end. You get nice transition shades. I mean, this palette really does have everything you might need. Let me do a few swatches, and these darker colors and the colored the actual colors, they actually do quite a good job of showing off true to color. Sometimes I find brighter colors, especially when you blend them out and stuff, you kind of lose that that real color and you just see darkness. So these do a really good job of staying true to color. So there are just a few on my hand right there. But if you weren't able to get that palette, the palette I would recommend to you is the Urban Decay Naked Basics palette, and there's the Naked Basics 1 and Naked Basics 2. It just depends if you like warmer toned, which is the first one, or the cooler toned, which is the second one. But honestly, in my opinion, this first one, so I'm trying to cover the mirror so I don't blind you guys, this first one is more versatile than the second because it really goes from absolute lightest to absolute darkest, and there's one shimmer shade, which is this one right here, Venus, and then 5 matte shades. So yeah, it's really great little palette. The next question is, what is the palette that's best for traveling? And again, I would have to give it to the Naked Basics 1 by Urban Decay. I mean, it's a great small palette, and it's a great accompaniment to any other palette, but you can get great looks out of it itself. I mean, you could get smoky with that nice dark black. You could go very neutral and nude, just, you know, with some of these lighter colors in here. So yeah, it's very good for traveling. It's small, it's compact. You know, sorry, that was my phone. Let me just turn off my phone so I don't get any more beeping. But anyway, yeah, I mean, it's small, it's thin, you know, I think it's going to hold up, it's durable. So yeah, it's really great for traveling. The next question is, what is your biggest regret palette? And unfortunately, I know a lot of you guys are going to be a little upset at this, but you know, I just want to be honest, for me, that is Urban Decay Naked 3. And honestly, when this came out, here, I'll give you a little look at the colors there. Honestly, when this came out, I thought this was going to be my favorite of the Naked palettes. I have the Naked 1, 2, and 3. Recently, the Smoky came out, but I don't think I'm going to buy that one. But yeah, I thought this was going to honestly be my favorite because I do like kind of the more like rose gold shades and whatnot. But honestly, I think I've realized that more rosy shades don't look good with my pink coloring because it just makes me look even more kind of red and irritated, especially with my like red eyes and the with the spring kind of allergy season. But also I just like this dust shade is really chalky. I mean, I don't even, yeah, you can see on my finger right there, it's just really chalky. And I mean, there are some nice colors in here, I'm not gonna lie, but honestly, I just don't use it that much, and I just feel like the shades are just very like monochromatic. I don't know, I just wasn't impressed. I don't particularly like how the Naked 2 and Naked 3 came in this tin case. I don't know. It is just my biggest regret. The next question is best color names. So for me, that would be the Too Faced Pretty Rebel palette. I mean, first, I just love the outside, and I believe this is still available. I don't think it's limited edition, but if it was, I'm really sorry. But if it wasn't, I will link it down below. And here's what the inside looks like. It's a really cool mix of colors, and I just love their names. I mean, I'll just read them all. Dainty, charming, girly. Love this pink one's called Totally Fetch. I mean, that is awesome. Mean Girl reference. Next one is Miss Sparkles, and the second row would be Ringleader, which that's a cool name. Gangsta, which is kind of cool. Instigator, Badass, and Jailbird. I just think they're really cool, unique names. Let me give you guys a closer look at that. Yeah, I don't know, I just really like them, and the colors are pretty as well. I mean, you get some cool looks out of this. Let me just swatch those 4 right there. You know, not maybe the best ever pigmentation, but not horrible by any means, and again, I just really like those color names. Okay, the next question is least used palette, and for me, I have a 3-way tie with this, but it's true, these are my 3 least used palettes. I honestly don't think I use one more than the other, and they're kind of sad because they're great palettes. But the first one is this Too Faced Sweet Dreams palette, and this was from the holidays a couple years ago, and I mean, it is absolutely gorgeous palette and packaging. I just love the look of this, and I always display this right on my bookshelf. I don't know if you can see kind of the sparkles in there, and again, I mean, it had butterflies right in there, so, you know, I'm a sucker for butterflies and packaging. I mean, don't want to blind you guys, but This top is just gorgeous. Hope I'm not blinding you. And honestly, I mean, the colors are very nice as well. You have that, and that's a gorgeous packaging too. You pull it out. I mean, you've got some great things. You got chocolate Soleil in here. I mean, you got, you know, it's a very nice palette, but honestly, I just don't use it that much, which is pretty sad. And I mean, honestly, I don't wear that much eyeshadow anyway, and if I do, I normally gravitate towards my Naked One or, you know, just some kind of neutral shades. But I will try to be using this more because, I mean, I have it and it's gorgeous. Tying in for that, I have this Tarte for True Blood palette. Again, this was limited edition a couple years ago. And again, very nice shades. And it also came with an eyeliner, a mascara, I think, and then a primer, I believe, a eyeshadow primer. But yeah, I mean, gorgeous shades. The names are really cool. They're kind of inspired by True Blood, which I do watch, and I was watching at that point. And I mean, I just love kind of this kind of laced up, kind of sexier palette. And, you know, it's really nice. And then this is cool. It says Open After Dark. I mean, it's a great looking palette again, but unfortunately I just don't use it. And the third one would be this jewelry box palette by Tarte. And again, this was limited edition. And it's cool, this little quilted top. This first part has some shimmer shades, and if you open it up, then you can reveal some, ooh, this is a really hard palette to show. If you open it up, it just reveals some matte shades. If you open it up, it just reveals some matte shades underneath. And then if you pull it out, I already took it out, but I hope you guys can see that. It has 8 lip gloss shades, a highlight, a bronzer, and then in here it had, I think, like 5 mini eyeliners that I took out and put somewhere else. And again, I mean, it's a gorgeous palette, but honestly, some of these shades are kind of more of that pastel kind of shades, which I don't normally gravitate towards. Some of those shades are just you know, I don't really gravitate towards kind of those more pastel colors, but I will try to be pulling those out and using them because they're all, you know, all 3 of those palettes are a couple of years old, so, you know, I want to get some use out of them before, you know, before I have to throw them away. Honestly, I'd have to say with that jewelry box Tarte palette, it came with this necklace, and I have to say I wear this necklace more than I use those eyeshadows. I mean, it's a really pretty necklace. Just kind of sits right there, and honestly I don't wear gold that much, but I really like this. So the last question is most used, most loved desert island palette, and hands down for me, again, that would be Naked One, the Naked One palette by Urban Decay. I just love that palette, and unfortunately, I mean, when I bought the palette, I bought it way early on, and I think it was a couple dollars cheaper. It was only like $48, which is still expensive, but you know, comparable prices to other brands. Came with a double-ended eyeliner pencil. They're 24/7 pencils, a black and a brown. And I preferred that much more, but then they changed it to the double-ended brush, which, I mean, brushes are great too, but honestly, those double-ended ones that come in those palettes are not my favorites, and I barely ever use them. I think eyeliners would have been much more useful. But anyway, either way, it's my most loved, most used desert island palette. And I actually wanted to add 2 more questions to this tag. I don't know if that's loud, but I'm sorry, I just thought they'd be cool additions. So the category, one of the 2 questions that I'm adding into this is, what is a palette that you regret not buying? And for me, that would be the Too Faced Everything Nice palette. That was one of their holiday palettes a couple years ago, I think 2 years ago, so you know, you can no longer purchase it. But my friend got it, my roommate got it, and she loved it. And I saw Emily Noel's video on that, and she said the dark shades actually show up true to color. And like I was saying earlier in the video, that I feel like a lot of palettes kind of don't do that, unfortunately. And those brighter shades, you know, don't stand out, and you have to work extra hard with them and use, you know, color bases and whatnot. But yeah, I remember her saying that they did show up true to color. So, you know, right after that her video went up, I tried to search for it, but it had been sold out at that point, so that's too bad. And my friend uses it, my roommate and friend uses it all the time, and she loves it. And the other one I'd have to put there would be the Urban Decay Smoked Palette. Again, Emily Noel just ended up talking about that, and I kept seeing it on sale on Sephora and stuff, but I never picked it up. But it did look like a nice palette. And the last category that I would add would be what is a palette that you're hoping for or wishing for, you know, what's on your wants list for palettes. And for me, that would be the Urban Decay Electric palette. Like I said, I don't wear eyeshadow that much, and I definitely stick to more neutral shades, but I saw Emily Noel's video. For 5 days, she tried to use the electric palette, and I also saw Kristen Games' video about that, and I will leave both their channels and their videos down below. I just love the looks that they came up with, and I think they were really unique, and you know, I do want to play with colors more. Sometimes I find it hard on my blue eyes to use color. You know, those neutral shades end up looking better, but you know, I want to experiment. So anyway, there is my perfect palette tag. I tag every one of you to do it as well, or if you don't make videos, you know, leave the answers to your questions down below in the comments, and I'll be sure to leave the questions in the description bar in case you want to know what they were. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you guys next time. Bye!